Welcome to my new series at Christian Reacts. I'll be reacting to Warhammer 40k tabletop, to Warhammer 40k lore, and probably branching out to other stuff too. I'd be stupid not to capitalize on the success that my React videos have had, so here we are. I'm going to make it a weekly thing now, probably every Friday. So, before we get started in the Templin Institute's video, Cadia, so go like and subscribe to them and show them some support because they're the ones who did most of the work here, right? So, I'm going to start in Genesis 1, 1 through 2. So I bring verses up here that are cool things, right? Not too preachy, because I understand you guys don't want to hear that stuff, right? But I bring the Bible without it being choked and squeezed by the institutionalized church, right? The mainstream institutionalized church, I should say. So, anyways, Genesis 1, 1 through 2. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So, before we read the second part there, we got to read Isaiah 45:18. For thus saith the Lord, that created the heavens, God himself that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it. He created it not. The word here is tohu, not in vain. And he formed it to be inhabited, right? So let's read here. And verse 2. And the earth was without form and void. So right here, he says he created it not in vain, right? Not tohu. It's the same word right here, right? And the earth was tohu. So something happened here. A destruction, right? And let's get to the video here. Sorry about that. Had a brain fart there.
Thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this investigation into the fortress world of Cadia. The first 500 people to use the link in the description will receive 2 free months of Skillshare's online classes.
I don't know if that's still going on or not, so it may or may not be. Let's have a moment of silence for Cadia. Alright.
In the region of imperial space designated Segmentum Obscurus, there lies an anomaly that has come to be known as the Eye of Terror. It is
It's a great book, by the way. Deathfire was a disappointment, but anyways.
Enormous rift, a permanent storm in the fabric of reality that for 11,000 years has provided a gateway to the nightmarish realm of the warp. Inside is a dimension of madness and despair, where skies weep blood, ancient stars burn in multicolored flares.
No way. Hold on a second. I gotta bring this up for you guys. Huh. No way. Enoch 21. Hold on. Let me do this. 7 stars. Okay. Here we go. Okay, first Enoch, chapter 21, I do believe. Yes, that should be 21. If I know my Roman numerals. And I proceeded to where things were chaotic. There you guys go. And I saw there something horrible. I saw neither heaven above nor firmly founded earth. Is this the outer darkness with gnashing of teeth, right? But a place chaotic and horrible. And there I saw 7 stars of heaven bound together in it. That is interesting. Very interesting. Okay, like great mountains and burning with fire. Then I said, for what sin are they bound in? On what account have they been cast hither? Then said Uriel, one of the holy angels, who was with me, and was chief over them, and said, Enoch, why dost thou ask, and why art thou eager for the truth? These are the number of the stars of heaven, which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord. Interesting. And are bound here till 10,000 years. Okay. Very interesting there. Was not planning on bringing that up, but that's cool. Anyways.
And the whims of the dark gods hold sway. Since the time of the Horus Heresy, the forces of chaos that reside within have attempted to break out from the Eye of Terror and strike at the millions of worlds that lay beyond. Only one thing has stood in their path: a fortress world that guarded the only navigable route to the Eye of Terror, a place where time and time again the servants of the dark gods would break against the greatest defenders of man.
I was gonna say, you're gonna have to have your best of the best there, man. That's gotta be rough. You have to be heavily fortified, heavy everything, man. And have some Grey Knight type, I don't know. Anyways.
It was a planet known as Cadia, and it was here above all that the bloody work of the Imperium was done. A terrestrial world closely resembling Holy Terra before the age of the Imperium, Cadia was marked by great oceans, temperate plains, windswept moors, and towering mountains. Cadia was colder than most civilized worlds, yet not enough to impede the planet's settlement. It was famous across the galaxy for its sparkling glaciers and thick...
Is that where Dawn of War, Winter Assault takes place? I don't know. Let me know in the comments.
Pine forests. It was the planet's network of strange black monoliths that remained Cadia's most enduring mystery, however.
Are those Necron pillars? Huh.
Known across the galaxy as the Cadian pylons.
Or maybe not.
When precisely Cadia was first colonized has been lost to antiquity, but in the decades before the Horus Heresy, it had become inhabited by a primitive race of violet-eyed humans who worshipped the Chaos Gods. The Word-Bearers Legion and their Primarch, Lorgar Aurelian, was the first to re-establish contact with Cadia, but whatever transpired in these initial meetings might never be known.
Kill the heretics. Purge the Xenos.
Lorgar ordered the cyclonic bombardment of the planet, wiping out the native Cadians and whatever secrets they possessed. With the end of the Horus Heresy, the Word-Bearers and their other traitor legions fled to the Eye of Terror to heal their wounds and nurture their hatred. Black crusades mounted across the galaxy from the Eye of Terror convinced the Imperium that Cadia was of vital strategic importance, and settlers were sent to the world to claim it in the name of the Emperor. Cadia was eventually forged into a world worthy of the Imperium.
What are those on their backs there? Are these Mechanicus statues? Or no? Okay, this is this has the regular hooded one, looks like. Huh. I like that. What would you call that? A halberd? Well, no, not a halberd. I forget what these are called, darn it. Anyways, those are cool. I like how these statues look.
But it was learned at great cost that the planet would forever be threatened, and its entire society would have to reflect that. Its earliest cities were constructed in the traditional style emulating Holy Terra, but the broad avenues and ordered urban grids favored any attacking force, and sweeping changes were
It looks like those Matrix made it there in Cadia. Darn it.
Cadia could not afford any distinction between its fortresses and cities. Streets were constructed in such a way as to disorient any potential invader, arrayed in zigzag patterns that would force an enemy to fight for every block. Bastions and local garrisons were stationed in every corner and spire that possessed a commanding view, while at the heart of every
It's the War of the Worlds, man. Where are the birds at?
city was an enormous fortification known in the local dialect as a casser. From the air, these resembled intricate puzzles, which could be held for months, if not years, even if the surrounding city had been taken. Its people were no different than its buildings, reorganized into a society wholly devoted to the defense of their world. Every Cadian was taught the skills necessary to become a soldier from the moment they could walk. Tactical doctrine was prioritized above basic literacy, and every citizen was required to serve at least a 4-year term in the planet's military before either becoming a career soldier or instead joining Cadia's military-industrial complex. Even the wealthy and successful elite wore clothing reminiscent of the camouflage patterns issued to the
But did they fight, though? I can dress in camouflage all I want, though. But doesn't mean I did anything, right?
lowliest guardsmen. The famed Cadian shock troops were widely regarded as the best soldiers in the Imperial Guard, and some of the most well-equipped. Regiments either formed on Cadia or those emulating its style and doctrine could be found across the entire galaxy. Cadian equipment, in particular, was so ubiquitous that it was nearly the standard of the entire Astra Militarum. For millennia, the planet stood as an unshakable foundation that challenged the will of the dark gods themselves.
Moment of silence. Okay.
Every invasion was shattered, and every Black Crusade was repelled. But in the 999th year of the 41st millennium, Cadia was finally broken. Abaddon the Despoiler, greatest champion of chaos since Horus himself, launched the 13th Black Crusade. In the opening moments, elements of the Planetary Guard turned traitor, assassinating Cadia's high command, its governor, and Lord Castellan.
Dang.
A reformed defense now under the command of Ursarkar E. Creed
Sounded like a Cylon type of takeover, from Battlestar Galactica.
were able to contain this initial assault, but the Black Crusade was just beginning. In orbit of the planet, an enormous Chaos Armada traded blows with the warships of Battlefleet Cadia, all while reinforcements swept across Cadia's skies before joining in battle against the planet's beleaguered defenders. Mysteriously, it was not the famous fortress cities of Cadia that appeared to be Abaddon's primary target, but rather the large network of pylons, particularly those within the Elysian fields. What precisely happened there can only be guessed at, but some claim that for a brief moment, servants of the Imperium working with ancient Xenos managed to activate the Cadian pylons.
Imagine facing these guys like all the time. You have to be the best of the best and make sure your mind doesn't break, man. That's gotta be rough.
The forces of chaos were seemingly cut off from the warp, and even the Eye of Terror was said to shrink. By the order of Abaddon, however, an enormous blackstone fortress struck Cadia with the force of an artificial meteor. The planet's continents were split apart, its ancient forests burned away. The few who managed to evacuate the dying world bore witness not only to the destruction of Cadia, but to the expansion of the Eye of Terror across the entire galaxy.
Oh, that'll do it.
With the fall of Cadia, the forces of chaos had won a victory that for millennia had been almost unimaginable.
Alright. So now, the reason why I brought up those verses earlier. Okay. 2 Peter 3, 6-7. Whereby the world that then was, right, being overflowed with water, perished. Now, people think this is talking about the flood, right, in our time. But no, listen what it says here. Verse 7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, so these are different, right? The same word are kept in store. So, when the flood happened in our timeline, it didn't fully destroy the earth, right? But this flood did. Okay, now let's go here Uh-oh. Okay. Isaiah 14, 16, and 17. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened the house of the prisoners? And we're going to expand a little bit on that. So, Lucifer is not Satan. We're going to see here if is this the man, right? He calls him a man. So Lucifer in Hebrew is Hallel ben Shahar, means Shahar is a Canaanite god, god of the dawn. Hallel means to shine or to be praised. Yalal, there's some connection to that, which means howling, but it's to shine, in my opinion. And also when you see this Babylon here, right? It says, thou shalt take up the proverb against the king of Babylon. This isn't the Babylon you're thinking of. This is what you would call Atlantis, right? The king of Babylon say, how wilt thou oppressor cease, the golden city cease? Okay. Lord, have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and quiet. They brought forth singing. So something's going on here. There's some destruction going on here. But, and of course you got the Lucifer thing. Where was I wanting to get with that? Oh, so, and what happened to Atlantis, right? Whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water, perished, right? And I believe Lucifer is the beast. Because it says here, yet thou should be brought down to the sides of the pit. So he was brought down to the pit. Or where does the beast come from in Revelation? Out of the pit. So that's very interesting. So Lucifer was the king of Atlantis. In this Babylon, when you see the Bible talk about Babylon, because it shows up in Revelation throughout the whole Bible, even when Babylon was destroyed, it's talking about the system, right? So, there you go. There's Atlantis right there in the Bible. Very interesting. And it was destroyed, right? The first heaven, where it says here, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So, anyways, we'll finish this up here.
Tendrils of the warp have split the galaxy in two, and there is little doubt that the Imperium has entered the time of ending. But the ultimate triumph of Abaddon the Despoiler still eludes him. The fall of Cadia has awakened something in the Imperium more powerful than even its greatest fortress. A hunger for retribution has swept across every world, and Cadia has become a martyr whose memory has spurred humanity to ever greater feats of valor. If a creature like Abaddon is still capable of experiencing even a tinge of fear, then he must be haunted by the fact that in destroying Cadia, he has added 1 trillion fallen saints to the highest pantheon of the Imperium. For even as the planet split apart and its shattered remnants were consumed by the Eye of Terror, the red streaks of firing lasguns could still be seen in the darkness. Defenders of Cadia refusing to give in, even as their world cracked and burned around them. From their sacrifice has arisen a new battle cry, one shouted in hatred from the Arctic steppes of Valhalla to the deadly jungles of Cataclysm. A simple phrase that ensures the memory of Cadia will remain for as long as humanity endures. The planet broke before the guard.
Okay. The planet broke before the garden. Okay, I see what it's saying. Okay, I was gonna say it's like the planet broke, but yet that they would all be dead. But anyways, okay, I see. Anyways,
Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this investigation. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of high-quality classes by experts working in their fields.
that's cool.
If you've ever considered venturing into the grim darkness of the 41st millennium or elsewhere,
Yes,
Skillshare has many classes on designing gameplay for tabletop, role-playing, and
that's
video
cool.
games, as well as guides on how to improve storytelling and character design.
Cool.
For less than $10 a month, Skillshare can help you build on your current skills or learn completely new ones, unlock new opportunities, and do your best work. The first 500 Templin personnel who sign up for Skillshare using the link in the description will receive 2 free months of unlimited classes that can help you in everything from painting and gameplay design
Oh,
to
I need help
creative
with
writing,
that.
social media, and
I
even
would
learning
definitely
new
need help
languages.
painting.
The galaxy can be a dangerous place, and as every Templin field agent knows, knowledge is power.
I am so terrible at painting. I can paint walls, but that's about it.
So use Skillshare to help give yourself an edge.
Alright, guys. We'll go ahead and end it there. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.